Hello, today I want to talk to you about something that might be sitting just quietly in the back of your mind as Easter approaches: family expectations and boundaries. Because while holidays can be beautiful, they can also bring up the most complicated relationships and the most loaded emotional history. Now, this episode is for anyone who's ever felt that dread creeping up in them before a family event. For anyone who's rehearsed what to say, braced for disappointment, or left a gathering wondering why they feel so drained. Welcome to the Heart Path Podcast, your space to realign, reconnect and rise. I'm Nicola Spencer. I'm a thought leader, a coach in women's confidence, an NLP practitioner, a human design specialist, teacher and coach. And I'm here to help women in their 40s and 50s rediscover their purpose, find the joy in the chaos and rise into their next chapter with confidence and grace. Together we'll explore stories, strategies and soulful insights to help you embrace your true self and step into a life you love. This is where we let go of limits, redefine what's possible and thrive in every season of life. It's your time to rise. Are you ready?
This is my moment, my heart's design. I rise and thrive, the world is mine. On the heart path, where dreams take flight, I shine my brightest, my guiding light.
Now, let's be honest. Many of us, especially as women, are conditioned to be the peacekeepers, to smooth things over, to make it work, rise above, stay polite, even when we're feeling hurt. So there's this unspoken role we carry to manage the energy of the room, to make sure everyone else is okay, and to put our own comfort last. And it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. And for years, I did exactly that. And that many of my friends will say the same thing as well. This is a very common thing that we feel amongst ourselves. So I want to share with you something that happened to me. And one of these moments that stays with you, and for me it is a real watershed moment that marked the line in the sand and started a different thought pattern within me. So a few years ago, I went on a road trip with my extended family and my youngest son, who was about 10 at the time. And one family member had always been difficult, very self-centered, emotionally disconnected from myself and my boys. And for a long time, I had not been making an effort, or for a long time, they had not been making an effort with my boys. Never asked anything about their lives, never asked anything about their sport or their schooling, nothing beyond a quick hello. And so I knew when this trip was coming up that it could be challenging, but I kept trying. I planned things, I prepared things, I offered suggestions for the trip, all of which were dismissed. And when we were away, every time I tried to contribute or help, I was either ignored or criticised, or even down to the moment I was told I'd cut the cucumber wrong. Now, I knew if I went to help with the dishes, it would be uncomfortable. I felt as if I wasn't wanted in the kitchen. But if I didn't and I sat down and watched TV, I'd be criticised for that. I just felt like I was in a no-win situation. And it really does seem ridiculous now, but in that moment, it symbolised everything. I'd bent over backwards to make it all work. I'd tried to please them in every way, and still, it wasn't enough. And the weekend ended with me standing up for my son after he was excluded by the other kids, which sparked an argument. And so I held in the tears. I packed the car and I drove home questioning everything as I let the tears fall. My youngest son, he was in the back seat, also feeling the weight of what had happened. it was a very long drive home. It was a very thought-provoking drive. It gave me a lot of time to process what had happened and maybe what I could do next. At that time, though, I didn't know what boundaries were in the way that I understand them now. But something in me knew that I couldn't keep doing this. So from that day forward, I stopped trying so hard with that relationship. I stopped initiating contact, and I stopped encouraging my boys to join in or make conversation when this person never reciprocated back to them. And now when I know I'll see them at a family event, I expect nothing. I don't share personal things with this person. I don't ask them how they are or what they've been doing. I don't have any conversations like that with them. And I don't feel guilty for this. Now, I still speak to the children because for me that feels right. And that relationship is, we don't see each other very often, but that relationship is enough for me to want to know how they're going. To see how they're growing in their lives. But I don't force the connection that isn't mutual. And even though that feels sad, it also has brought me a lot of peace. And this is because I'm no longer sacrificing my energy for someone who never protected or respected it in the first place. So let's talk about how we can protect your peace without burning bridges. How to set loving boundaries that honour you. And there's often boundaries we might put in place, and then later on that relationship is repaired. And in the meantime, a boundary that you put in place will help keep you in a happier place around that relationship. So here are 5, they're very gentle but powerful steps that you can take to set a boundary and the other person doesn't need to know that you're setting the boundary, depending on how you approach it. It's a boundary that you put in place for your benefit only. It's not really for anybody else's benefit. So the first thing you can do is get clear on what you need to feel safe and steady. So you ask yourself these kinds of questions. What feels hard about this gathering? And what do I need to do to feel grounded? So you might already have a clear idea about that. You might need to journal about it. And when you have a clearer picture of that, it gives you a lot of clarity. And it helps you move through the situation a lot easier. Now, pre-decide your energy. So choose in advance how you want to feel. It might be calm, neutral, centered, whatever it is, let that be your anchor and not the room around you. So you're really focusing on yourself and those inner feelings to guide you and keep you on course for the event that you need to go to. So the third thing you can do is to use soft boundary phrases. So you don't need to explain or justify anything. You just need to use a little phrase, something like, I'm not available for that conversation. I'm going to take a quick breather. I'll be back in a minute. And then you can just go outside, take some breaths and center yourself to get back to that feeling that you're desiring within you. Instead of having an argument, well, thanks for sharing. I see it differently. And you don't need to justify anything else. You can walk away after you've said that. So at the moment, we've got an election coming up in Australia. And if you know that someone will be there who will want to talk about politics, you can say, I'll come, but I will not be talking about politics. If that person starts talking about politics, I will leave. Okay, and then you stick to it. Okay, so whatever you say, how it is for you, you need to follow through. Okay, so if it means that you have to leave the family event because of this, well, so be it. But you will leave with the feeling, knowing that you have empowered yourself to make that decision. Number 4, protect your expectations. So as I do with the person in my family, expect nothing from the people who have shown you nothing in the past. And just me accepting that one little thing has brought a lot more peace to the situation. When I see that person, I'm able to interact with other people and not really worry about that one person. Hope for ease, but prepare yourself for any kind of neutrality, which is not connection for you. So for me, one of my highest values is connection. So if something happens that's not really connected, I can say one of the phrases that I've decided to say, step out for a little while, come back. Okay. Number 5, give yourself full permission to leave early or opt out. So you don't owe your time, presence, or emotional labour to anyone, especially if it costs you your peace. And this is where it comes right back to the beginning where I was talking about that number 1 thing, the focusing on the feeling inside. This is going to help you during the time that you have to be in the situation with that other person. And when I say have to be, there are other people in your family that you probably would love to spend time with. So this is a way that you can honour that side of you, but keep the other side of you also at peace. Okay. Now, boundaries are not walls. They're clarity. They say, this is where I end, this is where you begin. And from the clarity, love can actually grow because it's no longer laced with resentment. Okay, let's take a moment to breathe together. Inhale. Exhale. It can feel uncomfortable, but remember, you're not wrong for wanting peace, and you're not selfish for creating space, and you're not unkind for letting go of relationships that have stopped being reciprocal. Now, if this episode brought up something for you, you can message me and we can schedule a time to chat. And you are not here to keep everyone comfortable at the cost of your own well-being. You are here to live, to love, to feel, and feel it in your skin as well. So I thank you for walking the heart path with me. Stay gentle, stay grounded, and protect your peace. Bye for now. Follow your heart, trust the path, and remember, the magic is in the moments in between. Welcome to the Heart Path Podcast, your space to realign, reconnect and rise. I'm Nicola Spencer. I'm a thought leader, a coach in women's confidence, an NLP practitioner, a human design specialist, teacher and coach. And I'm here to help women in their 40s and 50s rediscover their purpose, find the joy in the chaos and rise into their next chapter with confidence and grace. Together we'll explore stories, strategies and soulful insights to help you embrace your true self and step into a life you love. This is where we let go of limits, redefine what's possible and thrive in every season of life. It's your time to rise. Are you ready?
This is my moment, my heart's design. I rise and thrive, the world is mine. On the hard path, where dreams take flight, I shine my brightest, my guiding